I tell you, just decorating the stage area, there's a lot of work that's gone into this, but all the practice and all that they have done, I'm going to tell you, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Just remember that in a few minutes.
Okay.
Y'all heard him say that. You can't take it back. How many of you all like to have fun?
Yeah.
Right. Who believes Christians can laugh and need to laugh? Okay. Remember that. Remember that tonight, okay? Our play has a major message for you to hear, but it is funny. I hope you will think it's funny. Laugh, interact with the characters if you'd like, and listen as we present Unto the Least. Debbie's going to fix our lights for us. 'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the house, Gladys Amplegirth was fussing and ironing a blouse.
I'm a brick house.
Not a thing out of place could ever be found, for she constantly straightened. You could eat off the ground. Her nails, they were perfect. Her hair was in curls. Her clothes, they were costly, envied by all the girls. The tree was brought in by the greatest designer, who cost her a fortune, but hey, that was minor. She dusted her Bible with painstaking care, in hopes that Pastor Carter would notice it there.
Oh, Brother Carter. I remember when Brother and Sister Carter rescued me from the circus. I was a bearded lady for many years. I will never forget my good pastor, Brother Carter.
Yes.
You know.
With her nativity up and all her presents wrapped, Gladys felt sure she was ready for a long winter's nap. When what did her wondering eyes did appear but a note under the door, saying a guest would soon be here.
Oh, well, what's this?
The note was embossed with gold letters so impressive. It was scented with lavender, which she concluded was excessive.
Oh, boy.
Now when Gladys read the note so mysterious, she could scarce take it in, or was she delirious?
I think I'm having a flashback or something up here. I don't know what's going on.
A prophet, a priest, a king all in one. The visitor was coming, and Gladys was quite undone.
Goodness. I gotta get these clothes changed. The king's coming.
What a disgrace!
My goodness.
To be caught in her onesie, she fled to her closet, all in a frenzy. She ripped through her closet with hat boxes flying. She searched through her wardrobe, everything trying. Gladys, you ready? Close, Gladys. Oh, Gladys. At last. Okay. He's fixing his hair. She's fixing her hair. Excuse me. You almost ready, Gladys?
I tell you, this woman thing ain't the easiest thing.
about his hair? He's got his necklace under his arm, too.
Just about blew my cover on that one.
At last she emerged in color so gracious. If truth be told, she was looking quite bodacious.
I'm a brick.
True to form, Gladys made her house ready. She waited for royalty, and she was feeling quite unsteady. When what did she hear but a knock at the door?
Oh, here comes
He
the
was
king.
here.
Come on in, King.
When
Wait a
she
minute.
opened the door, all she found was a girl quite poor.
Ma'am, is there any way you could give me a coat or gloves or scarf or anything? I'm poor. I can't buy a coat. And it's freezing outside. I need something. I'm just so cold. It's 20 degrees. Please?
Well, I tell you what I can't do for you. I can send you on down the road. Because I don't have time for you. Got a king coming tonight. Look at me. I've got my best on. I'm looking good.
Well,
Ain't I looking good? I'm looking good.
But please, give me a coat. Can I use this one? Can I
let's
have
see.
that one, please?
That'd be a no.
What about that blanket?
Yeah, that'd
You're
be
really going to send me out in 20 degree weather with no coat?
I really am. You need to go.
Please?
Please. No. I tell you what you can do, though. Get out there and get you a couple sticks and rub them together real good, and you might just warm up.
I just can't believe you.
Well, it's the truth. I'll see you. Merry Christmas. Whew, I can't believe someone coming tonight. Of all nights, a king coming to see me. I better have me a...
Now Gladys considered herself good to the less fortunate,
Thank you.
but no one could blame her for getting rid of this subordinate. Determined to be ready to receive her guest's fare, Gladys went to the mirror and poofed up her hair.
Oh, yeah. Keep that hair looking good for the car. Let me tell you.
She decided to sing as she laid out her table. She was sure to impress with her cooking skills able.
I'll have a blue Christmas without me cookies, 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 cookies.
At last came the knock.
Oh, that must be the king right there.
Gladys was all a flitter. It was very last minute, so she threw on some glitter.
Oh, brother. Wear me out here, doing. There we go. Okay, come in, king.
The man at the door was so unexpected. He was filthy, tired, and utterly rejected.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I lost my job and I got thrown out of my home. I'm living on the streets right now, and
Yeah.
I'm so hungry. Can you spare a sandwich or something, please?
Did you say you lost your job?
Yes, ma'am.
It smelled like to me you lost your soap.
I know. I'm so sorry, ma'am, but I haven't been able
Well,
to. I've not been able to take a shower or anything. They told me out of my house I can't pay my rent,
Yeah.
and I lost my job. And I'm so hungry. Can you spare a sandwich or something?
I don't have anything right now. I've got someone coming.
But you got to.
Yeah.
You got some food right there. I'm starving to death.
Yeah, well, that's for the king that's come to see me.
Yeah, but can't you just
I
spare a
said
cookie or
me.
something? Can't you spare a
I
cookie?
can't spare a cookie. I can't spare a sandwich, piece of bread, cornbread, beans. I can't spare. You need to go.
It's Christmas time right now.
Here's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to go to the store, steal a bar of soap, find a creek, and bathe. You are rank, brother.
I'm sorry, man. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Thank you.
Phew.
How could this be that tonight of all nights, these beggars would show up and threaten her
I
delights?
can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Gladys grabbed the air spray, as she wasn't beyond admitting. She was glad to get rid of the smell he was emitting. Unnerved just a bit, Gladys poured out some tea. I must settle my nerves if I'm to meet royalty. When only a moment or two had elapsed, not.
Oh, here's the king. Finally, finally,
Amplegirth answered the door and collapsed.
Come in. Oh, Lord, Jesus. This is a big one, Liz.
Quick to recover, Gladys jumped to her feet and to the sick creature and said, not too sweet,
What's up, sicko?
What's up is there is nowhere in this town to stay, and I am sick. And your house is so large. Could I just have a room just for the night? Just please, I'm just sick.
Wait a minute.
Just please,
Let me think about that. Yeah, that'd be a big no.
please let me just have the couch. Just for a little bit, please.
No, please, I'll tell you what. Okay, well, let me tell you what you can do. You going outside and,
But just
yeah,
please.
yeah. Call 922 or something. Oh no. Here a king's coming and she done thrown up all of my brand new hardwood floors. What am I gonna do?
The events of this evening seemed so absurd that Mrs. Amplegirth almost had a bird. It would be impossible to meet a king or duke unless she got rid of this violent puke.
Oh Lord.
What else could go wrong? This simply can't be. Don't these people know who I am? His Majesty chose me. A knock at the doorway gave Gladys a fright. She swung wide the door, half expecting this sight.
This must be the king. Oh, there we go.
There stood a man with disheveled appearance, an ex-convict, just perfect. What does he want, royalty clearance?
How can I help you?
I mean, I just got out of jail. I need a job. You got anything I can do?
Do I look like the Employment Commission?
I mean, none of you guys will help me. I mean, what can I do when they see me on America's Most Wanted?
America's Most Wanted? What was you wanted for? Let's not even talk about that. My goodness. I can't help you. I've got a key coming. I
That
can't.
table looks awful nice.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I had a good meal.
Well, it's going to be a little bit longer. Here tonight, convict, jailbird. What kind of bird can't fly? Jailbird.
I knew I should have went next door.
You should. Wait a minute. Come back just a minute. Come back just a minute. I do have something. I can help you just a little bit. Let's see. Make sure you didn't steal nothing of mine while you was in the house here. All right, get out of my house, you convict. Goodness gracious.
Our lady in question didn't know what to think. Her hopes for this evening were beginning to sink.
I don't see no king or nobody coming to see me.
Something inside her was feeling uneasy. Had she done the right thing? She was feeling quite queasy.
I was better off at the circus.
Then in a twinkling, a bright light did shine. An angel appeared, who was clearly divine.
Oh, my goodness.
Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today in the city of David a Savior has been born. He is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You'll find a baby wrapped in cloths lying in a manger.
My goodness.
Joseph and Mary of Nazareth come wearily to the end of their journey from Nazareth to Bethlehem, attempting to stay at the inn for the night. They were told there is no room. They must take refuge in a stable. The stable stinks, like all stables do. The stench of urine and animals reeks in the air. The ground is hard and the hay is scarce. Cobwebs cling to the ceiling and a mouse scurries around the floor. A more lowly place of birth could not exist. But there was majesty in the midst of the mundane, holiness in the filth of sheep manure and sweat, divinity entering the world on the floor of a stable. Our King is born. Meanwhile, the city hums. The innkeeper would never believe that he had just sent the Savior into the cold. And the people would scoff at anyone who told them the Messiah lay in the arms of a teenager on the outskirts of their village. They were all too busy to consider the possibility. Those who missed His Majesty's arrival that night missed it not because of evil acts or malice. No, they missed it because they simply weren't looking. He came not as a flash of light or as an unapproachable conqueror, but as one whose first cries were heard by a peasant girl and a sleepy carpenter. The hands that first held Him were unmanicured, calloused, and dirty. No silk, no ivory, no hype, no party, no hoopla. Were it not for the shepherds, there would have been no reception. And were it not for a group of stargazers, there would have been no gifts. Gladys, how far are you willing to sacrifice your comfort and material satisfaction to receive the will of the Lord? While not meaning to, have you occupied your thoughts and feelings with other matters that Jesus can no longer find a place within you? Has this noisy, demanding world, full of pleasures and competition, taken hold of your time and attention to such an extent that you can no longer make room for Christ? The angel continued to remind Gladys about her real worth and the humility of Jesus' birth. They talked of the visitors, and God's Spirit helped her see, what you do for the least of these, you do it for me.
Amen.
Gladys realized the error of her ways, and she knelt on her knees and she started to pray.
Dear Lord, I've been so self-centered. I turned away the very ones I should have helped, thinking about myself and not others. I ask you, Lord, to help me to be a true Christian in word and in deed. Help me, Lord, to reach out to those that need you so much. I ask those things in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Just a minute. Jesus, they may need you a minute. Huh? Push play, Debbie.
And like I said,
Go back there.
I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I needed clothing, you covered me. I was sick and you gave me care. I was in prison and you came to me there. You asked, where was this? what you did for the least, what you did for the least, what you did for the least, you did for me. You asked, where was this? How could this be? What you did for the least, child, you did it for me.
I want y'all to make yourself at home here. Eat all you want. Don't steal anything. You can go take a bath as soon as you eat the cookie. Just get warm. No more throwing up from you, please. A Merry Christmas to everybody.
It's always amazing what God can redeem.
Yeah.
We must remember his birth was completely supreme. How God knew the end from the humble beginning, which would offer us freedom from a life of sinning. The end. And I'd like to introduce our cast, if they would come up. We have our poor girl, played by Paula Gibson. Our sick girl, played by Sharon Carnes, who does wonderful puking. Our ex-convict, Mitchell Abel, who's the sweetest person on earth. Our homeless man was Dewey Gibson. Our beautiful angel, Faith York. Mary, Joseph, Matthew, and Leslie Tingler. And our handsome little Jesus, Jacob Tingler. And our wonderful lead actress, playing Gladys Amplegirth, is Douglas Powers. And the song that you heard tonight was played and sung by Matthew Tingler, which is beautiful. And I want to thank Debbie for working our sound back there and helping us with the setup. And Vernon's sick tonight. He was going to play our convict, and he has the flu. But I want to thank Brother Carter. He's it's kind of hard for you, isn't it, Brother Carter, not to know what's going on?
Yeah, it's really hard. I understand why I haven't slept in 2 or 3 hours.
So he's let us do what we needed to do without asking too much. So we appreciate it. And thank you all for taking it in the spirit that we hope you did. And we had a fun time doing it.
And if I may say, let's give Gloria a big hand.
Thank you. Everybody, and we'll turn it over to Brother Carter. Oh, and I want to thank Dana and Mitchell for providing some refreshments for us tonight. Where's Dana at? Thank you, Dana.